And there's no better place to do it than Louisville, Kentucky.
I don't want to get out and deal with all that.
I actually have a meeting location that was switched because of all the traffic that'll be occurring.
I can, upon a conviction, if that occurs, get a sentence of life without parole where Mr. Ober-Hensley is never back out on the street again.
They don't want their children to have to be bused, their little children to be bused to another school.
Our focus is on making every single day that they are here as positive and as focused on learning as we possibly can.
Time equals money. All this equipment equals money. It's an inordinate amount of time that we spend taking trash out of waterways.
Ran right between Kemper's right through the 5-hole.
Well, good morning and thanks for waking up with us this morning. We want to get right to the big news of the morning. President Donald Trump will be in Louisville today.
So that means if you were downtown at all today, your route is going to be affected. Brooke Hash is live for us at the Gaunt House Hotel right now. And Brooke, is there anything we can do besides just not driving today?
Well, if you work downtown, the biggest piece of advice is to try and work from home. If that is an option for you, do so, because it is going to be a mess pretty much anywhere inside the Waterson headed toward downtown Louisville, regardless of what side of town you are on. Now, you have a notice going out to a number of the area hotels, like here at the Galt House, the Seal Block just down the road, and residents living in these complexes just within the last few blocks from where we are, telling people exactly where they can and can't park. Dozens of road closures, as well as where your Uber and Lyft drivers can and can't pick and drop you off. So let's talk about where we are right now, being at the Galt House. This is the president's very first stop of the day. We're at 4th and Main Street. He will be speaking at the AMVETS National Convention before heading just a few blocks down to the Seal Block Hotel for a private fundraiser for Matt Bevin's re-election campaign for governor. Now, these are the major road closures we'll be seeing downtown. Pretty much all day, you can expect to see Armory Place from Ali to Liberty Street off limits. Then from 7 to 5, 3rd Street from River Road to Main will also close. From 9 to 6, 4th Street from Ali to Chestnut, as well as Ali from 3rd to 5th Street will close. And lastly, by 11 a.m., you will not have access to Main Street from 2nd to 5th Street. Most of these closures will stay in place until the president's motorcade has left the area. Now, President Donald Trump is expected to arrive here in town on Air Force One around 1:30 this afternoon, and then leave around 5:30. You guessed it, those are crucial times for our traffic patterns. This is where it'll get messy. I-65 will shut down to everyone else while the president's motorcade is traveling to and from the airport. Now, it's unclear if downtown 64 traffic will also be impacted, and that's because the president's exact route and timing is something the Secret Service keeps private for those security reasons. But you can definitely see a list of all the street closures and what we know at this point as far as where and where not to park. All the details given to us by LMPD. That information on our website right now. We have team coverage on the president's visit, and we'll cut in live when he arrives this afternoon, again just around 1:30 if everything stays on schedule. Stay with WHAS for the very latest. You can find everything you need to know right now online at WHAS11.com, as well as on our news app. We will have the very latest updates throughout the day, so stick with us, guys. We are talking about the traffic patterns happening right now. Doesn't seem to be anything too impactful for your ride in this morning. Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you, Brooke. Things are looking pretty good out there so far. Most of our major interstates in the green. Your morning commute could be impacted, of course, by some of those road closures downtown. It's really your evening commute later today that could be impacted by some of those interstate closures, especially along I-65 as the president does depart around 5:30. But for now, things are looking good, especially here on the Waterson and the Gene Snyder. It's an easy commute from southern Indiana as well. Only 5 to 7 minutes coming in from Clarksville and New Albany. 9 to 12 minutes here on your Kentucky interstates from 265 into downtown. Guys, let's get a check on our forecast for today as we start with a beautiful photo from one of our Kentucky, Indiana cloud watchers. Gorgeous shot of the sunset yesterday after we did have a few storms. Of course, a lot of folks saw some heavy downpours and some very gusty winds. Well, we could see a little bit more of that as we head into the evening. We're going to have a very hot and humid day with a few evening storms. Another round of rain is going to get us into Thursday and probably into much of Friday before some drier and less humid weather does arrive this weekend. Cold front here off to our our north and west will eventually push off to us south and east and impact us here in Kentucky, but much later today. So we should see lots of sunshine, and it is going to be a very warm day ahead of us. It's later on as we head into the evening hours. I'd say after about 5 p.m. we start to see some of that wet weather moving in from the north and west. For now, though, conditions a little cooler than yesterday. We're in the mid and upper 60s, 73 in Metro Louisville when it was about 83 at this point yesterday. We'll rise up to about 94 this afternoon. Could easily still feel like the triple digits, and then a few more rain chances as we head into the next few days. We'll talk about those coming up in your full forecast in just a few minutes.
See you in a few minutes for that, Caitlin. Thank you. And now we want to get back to our coverage of President Trump's visit to Louisville. He's also the speaker at the AM Vets National Convention today.
The convention is going on at the Galt House today, and it continues for a week. So AM Vets' goal is to improve quality of life for veterans, their families, and the communities where they live. The annual convention is an opportunity for veterans to talk about the issues that directly affect them and help make national change. WHAS11, we spoke to a couple veterans at the convention who are excited about the president's visit.
I think, the president should come to our convention because we need his support on a lot of bills that have to be passed to protect the veterans.
Only American veteran members are allowed at the Galt House during the president's visit. After that, President Trump will head to a private fundraiser for Governor Matt Bevin's re-election campaign.
We are less than a month away from the third round of Democratic debates. The 2020 presidential campaign is gearing up, and right now we are down to 10 people. Former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro just made the cut yesterday. Here's what they have to do to qualify. They need at least 2% of support in at least 4 approved polls. They also need money from 130,000 different donors. The deadline to qualify is 1 week from today. Opening statements might start today in Joseph Oberhansley's trial. He's the man accused of killing and eating his ex-girlfriend in southern Indiana.
Very disturbing case. Clark County prosecutor Jeremy Mold tells us they may still need to seat a 16th juror in Noblesville, Indiana, before opening statements can begin in Clark County. So Joseph Oberhansley is accused of raping and stabbing his ex-girlfriend to death, then eating her organs in 2014. Jury selection was moved nearly 2 hours away because of media attention.
If we were to pick a jury in Clark County of people who had read news accounts of the case, then that could seriously imperil any verdict that we later obtained in the case. It could be overturned. And so therefore it was necessary to move a couple hours north and to have a different group of people to choose from.
In 2017, there was question of Oberhansley competency. First, he was deemed unfit to stand trial, but after court-ordered treatment, a state psychiatrist said he could stand trial. Then a deal between Oberhansley and Clark County prosecutors took the death penalty off the table, so now he cannot plead insanity. Again, the trial is expected to start today as long as that 16th juror is picked. The jurors have been isolated all night and haven't been able to use any electronics.
We know more now about how JCPS plans to get security in schools after the board voted to remove resource officers. The district hopes to have officers in schools by February 1st. The goal is to have 50 of them assigned to every middle and high school, with patrols going on at elementary schools. They'll hire a temporary project manager to set everything up, and right now they have filled 7 of 9 patrolling school officer jobs. The board still has to approve that plan for the in-house security force, though.
Bellarmine University is preparing to say goodbye to a beloved golf coach who died earlier this month. Ernie Denham died August 7th when his condo caught on fire in the Highlands. Denham led the men's golf team for 17 seasons at Bellarmine. The university will host a celebration of life in his honor Saturday morning at 10 o'clock at Knights Hall on campus.
We want to tell you about a special moment for firefighters in Clarksville, Indiana. They reunited with a man whose life they saved on the Ohio. Lavelle Washington and his friend Donald Watson were boating on the river on July 1st when their boat lost power and they went over the McAlpine Dam. Washington was able to call 911. Watson passed away, but crews from Clarksville Fire Department were able to rescue Washington. Last night, the city recognized the department's crew for their actions that day.
Time now is 5:09. The San Francisco airport is starting its effort to become the first zero-waste airport.
It's a pretty big undertaking here. They want to meet that goal by 2021. They're going to start phasing out water bottles at the airport. After they sell off what they have, then they'll stop selling water bottles smaller than a liter. The airport wants people to buy water in glass or aluminum containers or just refill their own bottles.
$2,000 is what one woman spent on billboards to get Tyler Perry's attention, and it seems like it may have paid off. Raquel Bailey says she took a leap of faith when she got the billboards, and now she landed a recurring role in Perry's upcoming BET series, Sisters. The show follows a diverse group of women who bond over the fact that they're all single. No word yet on when we can expect to see the show or Bailey acting in it. But congratulations.
And hey, this might sound good to you. 5 lucky people get the chance to see the ball drop at Times Square on New Year's Eve, all thanks to losing the Kentucky Lottery. The lottery's president says 5 people with losing Powerball tickets worth at least $4 can enter this contest. The winners of that contest will compete with winners from other states or losers, depending on how you look at it, for that $1 million prize on New Year's Eve.
Panic over mass shootings has reached Louisiana. Louisiana State University tweeting out, "Run, hide, or fight." What campus officials believe caused that panic?
And we also want to let you know that because of a special report when the president arrives in Louisville this afternoon, General Hospital will not be on the air at its regular time. You can watch today's episode at 1:35 a.m. on Thursday.
And now here's a check on your Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions 90 million, Powerball 40 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education.